So, my friend, I want to ask you, have you been listening to some of my podcasts for a while and identified for yourself all the areas that you feel your business could be better in? Maybe you just are so busy you haven't yet mastered the working as much as you like bit. Or maybe you're just not bringing in the money, like you're struggling with the income, or it's just not enough. Well, it's time for us to have a conversation. In the show notes, there is a link to my evolution call. If you're a dance boss and you are ready to take action, let's have a chat and let's see where I can take you. Hello and welcome, lovelies, to the Ultimate Dance Business Podcast. My name is Deborah Laws, the dance business expert. My passion is to help you turn your passion into profit while guiding you to work less and earn more. I'm super excited to share interviews with you that I know will inspire and motivate you in your schools, as well as my solo shows where I shall be sharing some great tips and strategies. So if you love the show, please do remember to review, subscribe, and share it with your fellow dance boss friends. So let's get stuck into the business of dance. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today and listening to the Ultimate Dance Business Podcast. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about new students. And in particular, we're going to discuss what they feel like when they first come into your school. So I'm talking about their emotions and how they are treated and how they are welcomed. Because I recently went all the way to Fiji to hang out with my business coach for a 3-day business intensive. And it was really exciting. And it was, pretty scary, kind of traveling on my own and then, going into a room with 100 people that I didn't know and, having to put myself out there to talk and connect with people and basically make friendships. And as warm and welcoming and lovely as everybody was, it's still quite a hard thing for you to do. And it just made me think a little bit about how that is for my clients and my customers. And it made me wonder whether they ever feel the same. And so you may or may not be aware that I run something called the Dance Business Conference. And that is a 2/3-day event where we have guest speakers, we have a stage, we have exhibitors, we have lots and lots of opportunities to learn and become empowered and motivated and help each other. Like, it's a really wonderful event for dance school business owners. But some of my lovely delegates have been coming every year since I started it. We've just finished our 3rd year. And they've been to all 3. And potentially they've been to other events, especially if they're members. And so what happens is, over a course of a period of time, people get to know each other. They start to build friendships. They start to have memories together from events and retreats and special days that I've done. And they've built some really beautiful friendships, which is just so awesome. And I'm so pleased that I've been able to be a part of facilitating that. But it also means that, of course, when they meet up at these events, they're going because they want to hang out with their buddies. They want to share how they got on since the last time they saw each other. They just want to hang out with the friends that they've made. But for new people coming to the conference that haven't yet made any of these friends, they're new into my world. They haven't got past experiences with people already. They haven't gone with somebody. Like, they're literally on their own walking into that environment. That can be quite daunting. And it can bring up some anxiety. It can be quite nerve-wracking. And when I went to Fiji and was feeling and experiencing this for myself, it made me feel about how my delegates feel when they come to my event. And I'm very aware that this is a similar situation to the one that I experienced in Fiji. And so we created a little new event that we started to do on year 2 as soon as we realized, which is the day before, where people that are coming on their own or haven't been before can come and just have a coffee and sit and chat with the other people that haven't been before, so that they at least have got some familiar faces, people that they've sat and chatted to, so that when they turn up on day one in the morning, they know a bunch of people. And it was to try and combat that feeling of, oh, I don't know anybody and other people know each other. And, just wanted to help people feel a little bit less anxious really about that. And so I then started to think about, how does this work for you in your business? Because I've recognized this with my clients. I've experienced it in the group that I went to. And, how can we look at this within a dance school? So I want you to think a little bit about your new students, trial students that are just coming into your school or your studio for the first time. They don't know anybody, potentially. They might not know a single other child. The parents might not know a single other parent or carer. And they're walking into a building or a church hall or wherever your venue is, not knowing a single soul, not even the teacher. Like, at least people coming to my event had kind of seen me online and knew a bit about me, or I knew all about my business coach, obviously. But, they don't even know the teacher predominantly. All they've had is an email with a stranger, and then they're taking their child to this event. And most of the time, the kids are actually fine. It's the parents I want you to think about. I want you to think about what that feels like for a mom or a grandma or a dad or a granddad or a carer or a nanny, whoever it is that is taking the child. How might they feel the very first time they take a step into your studio, your venue? Is there signage up so they know they're in the right place? Do you have your roller banner up? Do you have a little table with some of your merchandise on it so they instantly see it and know they're in the right place? Or do they turn up to a venue and there's no signage and they don't even know what door to walk through or where to go, and it's 7:00 at night and so there's nobody left on reception? Or, are they walking in and instantly knowing where to go? So what you could do to combat this is create a little video that walks them through, basically from the car park. You can just record yourself walking and then speed it up so that you get that kind of fast version, so that they know where to walk from the car park. Which door do I go in? When I've gone in the door, what corridor do I go down? Which turning do I take? Is it the left? Is it right? Is this a changing room or is this a studio? Like, create a video so that you walk your new trial parents through where to go and what it's going to look like inside the building. And, you can even have it, set it up so that the parents in the changing room and the kids in the changing room and the people in your reception area or the people in the studio know that you're recording this video, and do it like as a kind of a little fake mock-up, so that when you go in, there's somebody behind reception and that person waves and you can be talking with your camera. This is Mrs. Smith, who's going to greet you. She's our friendly receptionist. And Mrs. Smith can go, hi, and she'll be here to greet you the day you come. And then you're going to be taken down this corridor. And then here is where your child will be changing. And there can be some kids, obviously not in the middle of changing, because you're going to set it all up beforehand. And the parents can all turn around and smile and wave and say, hi, welcome, come join our family. And then maybe the camera takes them through to the studio. And as the studio door opens, the teacher's teaching a class and she stops the music and all the kids run over and the teacher runs over and everyone goes, hey, welcome, come and join our classes. Just imagine how much of the anxiety you're going to relieve if a parent received that before they came to your classes. So I thought I would just share with you guys today the planners that I have produced for dance school owners, because these are flying out of Amazon like hotcakes. And if you don't have yours yet, then all you have to do is pop to Amazon and type into the search Deborah Laws, and all 3 books will come up. So the Ultimate Dance Business Planner I designed for you so that you had a little bit of a Deborah on your desktop. The planners are full of business training, tips, motivational quotes, things to do at the start of the month, things to do at the end of the month.
ways in which you can plan out your marketing and your retention, and they are selling all over the world. So go to Amazon, grab your #1 best-selling Ultimate Dance Business Planner and enjoy mapping out the growth for your studio.
They've had this kind of sense of being orientated. They know where to go. They know what it's going to look like. They also know there's a friendly face. That's the person that's going to join me. The parents in the changing room will actually look really friendly and like they're going to greet me warmly. And then, of course, the teacher and the kids all look really friendly and welcoming. I think it would make a huge difference. Now, the other thing I think that is important is not just giving them a video beforehand, but it's, okay, what if you don't have a Mrs. Smith on reception? What if they just walk in and the teacher is in the middle of a class and there isn't anyone to greet them? What if the parents are all sat in the changing room and they all know each other and they've known each other for years? And so as much as cliquey doesn't mean unkind or unfriendly, cliquey can just be people that are confident with each other that you're not yet a part of. And that's, that potentially is a little bit of how it felt for me, stepping into the environment in Fiji. A lot of the people knew each other already. So to me, what I experienced was a clickiness. It wasn't cliquey. They just knew each other and were pleased to see each other and were catching up with each other before it was on their main agenda to come and speak to new people. And the same with my event. Some of my members have known each other for 3 or 4 years and they go because they want to catch up with their friends. It doesn't make it cliquey, but because they know each other and they're more worried about catching up with their friends, the people that aren't part of that feel like they're outsiders. So it feels cliquey, even though there is no clickiness. It feels like that to some people. That's what your new parents might feel when they go into the changing room. The parents are chatting, they know each other, they were talking last week. How did you get on last week? So-and-so's new maths tutor, like they're yapping away. And your new parent walks in and finds a little seat and sits down with their child. And, do I get them changed? Like, do I take their shoes and socks off? I don't know. Like, these other kids are all jumping around and doing cartwheels and everything else. And they've all got this uniform on and they all look tidy. And my child hasn't got anything and no one's talking to me. Nobody's told me what happens. Like, do I wait and go in with my child or do I stand outside? And is the teacher going to come and get me? Or do I have to take her in? Like, you can imagine for some parents, that's really hard to put themselves in that environment. And unless that child comes out of your class beaming from ear to ear and they've absolutely loved it, potentially it could be the parent that doesn't want to go back. If the child comes out and they're like, yeah, it was okay, or the child doesn't say an awful lot, they might be like, right, great, don't have to go back, don't have to put myself through that again. So what can you do to put yourself in their shoes? What could you do if you really think this through so that that new person coming in doesn't feel all of those things? So, as I said, you could have signage so they know that they're in the right place. You could have a billboard that says, new parents, please do X, Y, Z. When they go into the changing room, maybe you could have somebody in that group of parents that are waiting to go into the next class that you've had a little quiet word with. Maybe someone that stays every week. They don't drop the kids and leave. They're always there and they always stay and they sit in the changing room and they talk to everyone and they're there religiously. Their attendance is really great. And they're a lovely, lovely parent. Maybe you could have a word with them and say, look, I would really love to ask if you would be prepared to almost become like a class ambassador or a new student carer person. Like, I don't know. I don't really know what the word would be for this role or if it even needs to have a name. But just to say, we are really aware that some people walking into a changing room full of dance mums, and hey, if they've watched dance mums on the telly, my goodness, what might they be? Preconceived ideas they might already have, that just always makes an effort to say hello to somebody new. They all know when a new child has arrived. Oh, I haven't seen that child before. I haven't seen that parent before. Like, it's obvious to your current students straight away when a newbie comes along. So rather than just ignore them and let them sit there feeling uncomfortable and anxious and worried, and what do I do? Go and say, hi, are you new? I'm Mrs. So-and-so, or I'm Alison, or, and this is my daughter. And have you come to try the class? And oh, they're going to love it. And this is what happens. A teacher will come out, just somebody that's going to care about these newbies. Someone that has naturally got that very kind of caring side, that caring instinct, and that wouldn't mind doing that for you. Imagine if someone came over, if this was you in this position, or if it was me at the conference in Fiji that came over and said, hi, you must be new. Where are you from? Come and meet some of my friends, and instantly introduces you, and you're sat talking, and then, my gosh, just breaks that ice, just breaks that sense of, I don't know anyone, and the fear of, is anyone going to talk to me? Can you do that for your trial students, for your parents, and the children, of course, as well? And maybe the parent even says, well, this is my daughter, Millie, and Millie, Millie's, would you like to look after little Lucy and take her in, and she can be your friend today? Can you orchestrate that happening by having a word with a parent in each of your classes? I mean, it's only going to happen up to a certain age, and then you won't need to do that because, at a certain age, they might be just coming in on their own. But could you actually think that all through for me and put yourself in the shoes of the worst case scenario, someone that suffers with anxiety, that might be terrified of bringing their child? What are all the little things that you could solve that would make that person feel happier? Because if that child comes out smiling or just hasn't got a lot to say because they don't say a lot about classes they've been to, but that parent has felt really well welcomed, and it's a wonderful, warm environment, and she loved chatting to the parents, and they were so kind, and they explained it all to her how it all works, and they talked about the shows that they do and the things that happen in the school, and my gosh, and I just feel this is such a lovely place, and I feel at home, and I feel part of the gang already. Like, they're going to really encourage their child to come back and stay. So it's going to help with retention as well as just building a beautiful, beautiful word of mouth and beautiful reputation for being this lovely, warm, friendly school. So I hope that has helped you to think through. And there may be other things that I've not mentioned that you think, yeah, actually, and we could do this, or we could have a student, maybe a senior student that comes in that does this role, or offers them a coffee if you've got your own premises, or does a little show, come and we'll show you around while you're waiting for your class. What is the 5-star experience that you could create when you are welcoming somebody new into your studios for the first time? I would love to know what your ideas are. So when we post this out onto iTunes and Spotify and all the other places it goes, we tend to, a couple of months later, create some little short versions of this video. When you see those pop up on social media, do pop a comment below and say, this is what I did after I watched the podcast. This is what it inspired me to do. Because I would love to know what you guys actually get up to when you've listened to some of these ideas. Okay, my darlings, I hope that's been helpful for you today. If you don't currently hang out with me, come and find me on Facebook at Dance Business Lab, and also on Instagram. And if you want to have a chat about your dance school and how things are going, drop me a private message. In fact, let's become friends. Drop me a friend request, then drop me a private message, and let's book in a chat, because I'd love to help you with some of this stuff. All right, everyone, take care.
So I wanted to tell you that this episode is kindly sponsored by Sally at Dance Studio Marketing, who is your go-to solution for growing your dance school through the power of social media. So if you're feeling overwhelmed at trying to attract new students, at Dance Studio Marketing, Sally helps dance studio owners just like you to leverage the power of social media and paid ads to bring in a steady stream of students, which of course helps you to achieve more balance in your life. So if you're ready to grow with less stress, visit sallyprendergast.com, or you can connect with Sally at Dance Studio Marketing on your favorite social media platform today. My clients are getting fabulous results using Sally. So let's get those ads going and let's get your school growing. Welcome, lovelies, to the Ultimate Dance Business Podcast. My name is Deborah Laws, the dance business expert. My passion is to help you turn your passion into profit while guiding you to work less and earn more. I'm super excited to share interviews with you that I know will inspire and motivate you in your schools, as well as my solo shows where I shall be sharing some great tips and strategies. So if you love the show, please do remember to review, subscribe, and share it with your fellow dance boss friends. So let's get stuck into the business of dance.